never believed in haunted places. I believed in silence, because silence is where things wait. Last night, I spent 6 hours completely alone in a house scheduled for demolition. No electricity, no neighbors, no history, at least that's what I was told. But at exactly 2:17 a.m., the house spoke, and it knew my name. I took the job because it paid cash. No questions asked. No paperwork. One night only. All I had to do was sit inside an abandoned house in rural Pennsylvania, record any structural noises, and report back in the morning. The house was scheduled to be demolished in 3 days. The owner wanted proof it was empty. Empty. That word would come back to haunt me. The house stood alone at the end of a dead road. No streetlights. No nearby buildings. Just trees and fog. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The air was cold, but not naturally cold. Felt used. I set my bag down and turned on my body cam. Red light blinking. Recording. Test log, I said aloud, mostly to hear my own voice. Property appears unoccupied. The house answered with silence. At 1:59 a.m., I heard breathing. Not mine. Slow, deep, patient. Came from the walls. I froze, holding my breath, listening. The sound stopped the moment I noticed it. That was the first mistake. The rules I didn't know. I walked through the house alone. Every room felt slightly warmer than the last, like something had passed through moments before me. Floorboards creaked even when I wasn't stepping on them. I told myself it was old wood. I told myself lots of things. At 2:03 a.m., the house exhaled. The walls shifted inward, just a fraction, like lungs emptying air. I whispered, "Nope," and laughed nervously. The laugh echoed back wrong, came back slower, deeper, like the house was learning how to laugh. There was one mirror left in the house, hanging crooked in a hallway. I avoided it at first. Then I caught movement inside it. Not a reflection. A delay. I waved my hand. The reflection waved back 2 seconds later. My stomach dropped. "Camera check," I said, pointing the lens at the mirror. On the screen, the mirror was normal. Only my eyes saw the delay. That's when I realized something important. The house was not haunted. It was awake. The exact time everything changed. I didn't check the clock. The house told me. Every sound stopped at once. No wind. No cracking. No insects outside. Then the house whispered, "Stay." It didn't use a voice. It used pressure. The word formed inside my head like it had always been there. I backed away. "I'm just here till morning," I said. "Then I'm gone." The floor shifted under my feet. The front door vanished. Not slammed. Not locked. Gone. The wall was smooth, unbroken, like the door had never existed. I ran from room to room. No exits. Windows showed darkness that didn't match the outside fog. The house had sealed itself. That's when I understood the truth. The house didn't want company. It wanted a witness. The breathing returned, louder now. Right behind me. I didn't turn around. I already knew what I'd see. At 2:29 a.m., the house leaned closer. The walls pressed inward. The ceiling lowered. Not crushing me, containing me, like hands around a heart. The whisper came again, clearer now. "You heard me," I screamed. The house inhaled. I stopped screaming when I realized something worse. The house was responding. Not emotionally, not violently, intelligently. The moment my scream ended, the breathing synced with my chest. Inhale, exhale, perfect rhythm. I wasn't being chased. I was being studied. I tried to walk back the way I came. The hallway stretched. Not visibly, not dramatically. It just refused to end. Every step felt normal, but the distance lied. I counted my steps. 1, 2, 10, 30. My legs burned. The hallway did not. The walls were closer now, close enough that I could feel warmth radiating from them. Not heat, body warmth, like skin after sleep. I touched the wall, pulsed. I pulled my hand back fast. The surface rippled where my fingers had been, slowly smoothing itself again, like flesh settling. That's when the smell hit me. Not mold, Not rot. Breath. Warm, damp, human breath trapped too long. I checked my phone. 2:31 a.m. I blinked. Checked again. 2:31 a.m. The seconds weren't moving. The house had stopped time, or more accurately, removed my permission to notice it passing. That's when I understood something terrifying. Morning was not coming. I lifted the body cam again, needing proof that I wasn't losing my mind. The red light blinked. Recording. I reviewed the footage from earlier. What I saw made my stomach turn. The breathing had been there the whole time. Low, constant, under my own voice. I hadn't heard it before, because the house hadn't wanted me to. A doorway appeared where the hallway should have ended. It hadn't existed before. No sound, no movement, just present. The room beyond it was darker than the rest of the house. Not shadowed, but absorbing light. I stood there for a long time, not frozen, invited. The pressure in my chest grew stronger the longer I waited. Finally, I stepped inside. The room was circular. No furniture, no windows, just walls that curved inward like the inside of a ribcage. And in the center of the floor was a shallow depression, the exact shape of a human body. My shape. The house exhaled. Approval. Images started bleeding into my mind. Not visions. Memories that weren't mine. People sitting in this room. Standing. Crying. Always alone. Always listening. Each memory ended the same way, the walls moving closer. The house wasn't killing them. It was keeping them. I backed away. The doorway behind me sealed shut without sound. The house began to mimic me. My breathing. My posture. Even my thoughts felt slower, heavier, like they were being copied before I finished thinking them. When I panicked, the walls tightened. When I stayed still, the house relaxed. It was training me, teaching me the rules. Rule 1, fear feeds pressure. Rule 2, resistance shortens space. Rule 3 came later. The house spoke again. Not aloud, not clearly, just a concept pressed into my mind. You fit. I shook my head violently.
No, y whisperat.
I leave. The walls trembled, not angry, confused, like a machine encountering an error. My legs felt heavy, not tired, anchored. Gravity inside the room was different, slightly stronger near the center. I fought it, every step harder than the last. The depression in the floor darkened. It wanted me there. I collapsed to my knees. The house inhaled sharply. The ceiling lowered by inches. Understanding came suddenly. Clean, cold. This house wasn't abandoned. It was full. Every space already occupied. By silence. By breath. By people who stayed too long. The house didn't hunt. It waited. And when someone listened long enough, still enough, it made room. The house finally delivered the last rule. Clear. Final. If you lie down, you belong. I screamed again. The house tightened violently. Pain exploded behind my eyes. The room shrank. Not crushing. Holding. Like arms. I forced myself to stand. Every instinct told me to lie down. To rest. To stop fighting. That's how it won. I pressed my back against the wall. The surface softened. Accepted me. I screamed in my head. Not out loud. Afraid the house would learn my voice better. Not yet, I thought. The house paused. Thinking. Learning. The first second passed. Then another. Time had restarted. And that meant something worse was coming. The clock changed. 2:59 a.m. The moment the numbers shifted, the house inhaled deeper than before. Not louder. Wider. The pressure in the room increased instantly, like the air itself had weight now. My ears rang. My vision blurred at the edges. This was not a haunting. This was a cycle. The walls slowly pulled back. Not retreating. Resetting. The room expanded just enough for me to stand upright again. My knees stopped shaking, but the relief felt fake. Like calm before anesthesia. The depression in the floor faded. Smoothed out. As if it had never been there. That scared me more than when it existed. Because it meant the house could undo things. I noticed something new. The house wasn't breathing randomly anymore. It had a rhythm, Inhale 7 seconds. Hold 3 seconds. Exhale 7 seconds. Exactly. Too exact. Like a learned behavior. Like it copied mine earlier and improved it. I tried to change my breathing. The house adjusted instantly. That's when panic hit me hard. If it learned everything I did, then escape wasn't about strength. It was about not teaching it anything useful. I forced myself to go still.
No passing. No checking.
No sound. I slowed my breathing until it barely existed. The house hesitated. The pressure paused. The walls stopped reacting. For the first time since I entered, I felt something close to control. Then the house did something unexpected. It leaned closer, interested. The temperature dropped sharply. Cold crawled up my spine, deep and invasive. My breath fogged the air. The walls felt harder now, less organic. Then warmth returned suddenly, too sudden. Sweat formed instantly. The house was experimenting, testing reactions. Pain, comfort, fear, relief. It was learning which combination made me move. A noise echoed through the room. A soft, choking inhale. It sounded exactly like me, but my mouth was closed. The sound came from behind the walls. The house wasn't just copying behavior. It was replaying recordings. Every breath, every panic spike, every sound I made since entering. Stored, reused, perfected. More memories surfaced. Still not mine. Not images of people. Images of positions. Someone standing against a wall for hours. Someone curled in a corner. Someone lying flat in the center. The house remembered how bodies rested inside it. It didn't need faces, just shapes. The depression in the floor reappeared. Slower this time, more deliberate. The shape was clearer now.
Exact proportions.
Spine curve, shoulder width, head angle. My body, waiting. The pressure pulled gently, not forcefully, like gravity remembering where I belonged. A door appeared on the far wall. Real, solid, handle intact. My heart jumped. Hope surged dangerously fast. I took one step toward it. The house inhaled sharply. The depression deepened. I stopped immediately. The door didn't move. It stayed open, waiting to see if hope would make me careless. I understood then, the house doesn't trap. It offers. I studied the door carefully.
No drafts.
No sound beyond it. No smell of outside air. It wasn't an exit. It was a test of desire. If I ran toward it, panic would spike. Pressure would increase. The room would shrink. The house would win. I backed away slowly. The door faded. Approval radiated through the wall. Understanding came in pieces. This house was not built to kill. It was built to hold consciousness, to keep someone present, aware, breathing, forever. The structure didn't decay because it wasn't abandoned. It was maintained from the inside, by occupants who never left. The house did not want silence. It wanted attention. Fear was just the fastest way to get it. Calm worked too. Stillness worked best. Anything that made me stay aware. That's why screaming failed. That's why fighting failed. That's why sleeping felt impossible. Sleep would mean losing awareness. And the house couldn't allow that. The house whispered again. Not a word. A certainty. My stomach dropped. There were others. Not now. Before. I wasn't the first. I was just compatible. I realized the only weapon I had. Boredom. If the house fed on attention, then I would starve it. I focused inward. Counted heartbeats. Let thoughts fade. No fear. No hope. No resistance. Just existence. The house hesitated. Confused. The breathing lost rhythm for the first time. The pressure loosened slightly. Not much, but enough. Then the house changed tactics. The walls moved closer again. Faster. Not violent.
Urgent.
A message pressed into my mind. Do not disappear. I understood. If I withdrew too far mentally, the house would force interaction. Pain, pressure, movement. It wouldn't let me fade. So I stayed half present. Not reacting. Not gone. Suspended. And the house watched. Waiting for a mistake. waiting for fatigue, waiting for time to matter again. The breathing slowed. The walls stopped moving. The house settled, satisfied, for now. But I knew the truth. This wasn't one night. This was training. And at some point, the house would expect me to lie down. The house stopped testing me. That was worse. No temperature shifts. No pressure changes. No false doors. Just breathing. Slow, steady, endless. The kind of calm that makes your mind beg for distraction. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. Time felt stretched thin, like it could tear if I moved wrong. My muscles relaxed against my will. My body wanted rest. Not deep sleep, just a moment of release. That's when I realized the next stage. The house wasn't trying to scare me anymore. It was trying to tire me. My eyes burned. Every blink lasted longer than the last. The room dimmed slightly with each one, like the house was dimming the lights inside my head. I shook myself. No reaction. The house didn't respond. It didn't need to. Fatigue would do the work. I nodded forward for a fraction of a second. In that instant, the pressure surged. The walls moved inches closer. My body jerked awake. The house inhaled sharply. It had noticed. Sleep wasn't forbidden. Unconsciousness was. The understanding hit me hard. As long as I was aware, the house had to keep me intact. But if I lost awareness, the house could reshape me, fit me, keep me. The depression in the floor returned. Slow, patient, waiting for gravity to finish the job. My legs felt heavy again, like standing in deep water. The center of the room felt warmer now, inviting, safe. Lying down felt like the correct answer to a question I hadn't asked. Not suddenly, not threateningly, like a parent leaning in to tuck someone into bed. The ceiling lowered. The space narrowed. The breathing synced again with my chest. The house was preparing me. A dangerous thought formed. If I lie down, at least the fear will stop. The house reacted immediately. Pressure increased. Approval surged. It had been waiting for that thought. I dug my nails into my palm. Pain flared. The walls paused. Pain worked, but only briefly. My body adapted. The pain dulled. The house resumed. It was patient than I could ever be. Time lost meaning. My thoughts slowed. Words dissolved into sensations. Breathing. Wait. Warmth. The house didn't rush. It knew sleep would come. It always did. The house offered something new. Relief. The pressure eased slightly. The room expanded just enough to feel merciful. A message pressed gently into my mind. Rest. Not a command. Promise. I understood what it meant. If I slept, the fear would end. But so would everything else. My knees buckled. I caught myself against the wall. The surface softened again. Welcoming. My eyelids fluttered uncontrollably. The depression deepened. The house inhaled, long, slow, satisfied. This wasn't about survival. It was about endurance. And the house had forever. I had minutes, maybe seconds. My vision tunneled. The room blurred. The center of the floor felt impossibly close. The house leaned in, ready, waiting. My knees finally touched the floor. The moment they did, the house reacted. Not violently, relieved. The breathing deepened, slower than ever, like something settling into sleep after a long wait. The depression pulled my body into alignment. Spine first, then shoulders, then my head. Perfect fit. The second my back touched the floor, awareness slipped. Not fully, just enough. That was all the house needed. The pressure vanished. The fear vanished. Warmth replaced everything. The house had won. The floor softened beneath me. I didn't sink. I was absorbed. The walls stopped breathing around me. They breathed with me. My heartbeat slowed. Not stopped. Maintained. Like a generator. I understood everything in one final clear thought. The house doesn't kill. Preserves. It traps consciousness inside structure. Walls that breathe. Floors that remember. Rooms shaped by bodies that never leave. The house stays standing because it is never empty. The last message entered my mind. Calm and absolute. I tried to scream. The sound became airflow. I tried to move. Movement became pressure. My body no longer mattered. Only awareness. Somewhere outside, morning arrived. Sunlight touched the roof. Birds returned. But inside, the house remained unchanged. Because inside, I was awake, listening, breathing, forever. At 2:17 a.m., the house inhaled again. Ready, waiting, for someone else to listen. Drop of blood, the end.